All right. So I'm just gonna give people a couple of minutes or time just to come in and check in. When you come in, say hi. How you doing? Welcome back to our live stream, Yellow Couch. Hi. Oh, hi, Auntie Diane. How are you? ah. Hey. So welcome back to another episode of the Yellow Couch. So if you watched last week, actually I did a video and it was about building generational wealth. Yes. But I believe true wealth is well-rounded and it's a balanced lifestyle. Having valuable possessions as well as being intentional with different investment in different areas of one's life. So because of that, I wanted to turn last week's episode into a series and give each topic, because I spoke about 4 different types of wealth. I spoke about financial wealth, I spoke about social wealth, which is your support system. I spoke about time wealth as well as your health, which is physical and mental health. And so I figured, if this show is about build, grow, and shine, why not spend some undivided time to dig deep so we could have a clearer and more defined meaning of what each of these topic is really talking about. So today we're going to focus into financial wealth. And I asked Jeff to come on here and talk to us about that because he just started a company. The name of it is Tree Lion Capital. It's an investment company. You could check it out, hjsh.org on the website. There's a lot of info on there if you're somebody who just want to do some investment, start something and starting small. There's a lot of information on that. This topic is really not my forte, so I brought in the expert to give us a little background on that. So I'm going to ask some question that I believe that some of you guys who are watching want to ask, about financial wealth. As I said, wealth is well-rounded. So when I hear the word wealth, before I used to think money, but it's not. It's well-rounded. It's a lifestyle and different investments, whether that is physical, mental, time, support, spending time with family, all that make you a balanced person. But we still need money, right? Yes. So I'm going to ask some questions. So the first question I want to ask you is, on a different scale from somebody who's making minimum wage or working 9 to 5, what does wealth look like for them compared to somebody who has so much money that they don't know what to do with?
Well, I don't think there's ever a time when somebody has so much money they don't know what to do with it. I hear that all the time, and I say, I think that's something I used to say too, and I think it comes from a different mindset.
Yes.
But it has time. It has a lot to do with it. Yeah. So wherever you're at in life, whether you're working a 9 to 5 or you're have so much money, you have all the time in the world, because essentially I think that's what we're trying to buy with wealth, right? We don't realize it. Most of us don't get it right away, but time is the most valuable asset you have, along with relationships.
Yes.
Where money is just a tool. Money is the tool to gain these things.
Yeah.
Time, good relationships, and to invest in the things you want to do. So it's your situation in life, or where you're at right now will determine how you see those different things. And I just think it has perspective. It's definitely perspective. If you're in an area, your environment is only minimum wage, just getting by, broke,
yes,
and you have a negative mindset to people that have money because you've been told that they're evil, that they're give me another word, or just always trying to get over people, con artists. We're almost conditioned
To think like that.
I read a book, Thou Shalt Prosper, by Rabbi Daniel Lapin, and it went into that where it talked about how we're almost conditioned to look at business people as evil. If you look at any movie we watch, the evil villain's in a suit and he's in some high-rise building in New York or somewhere. It's a shame because you're conditioned to think, oh, business people, they're going to screw you over, they're out to get you. When it's really not the case. It's really not. And we heard it from Bob Fisher was 2 ways to define people. Like, is if somebody who's in debt, poor, or a wealthy person, what's the difference between the two?
Yes.
And the difference is one gave more than the other took. The other one took more, the other one gave more. Well, what do you mean? Well, what I mean is a lot of us, we take and take and take and take, and we put this on credit, put that on credit, and we buy without giving back to receive. So if you're going to sell a product, good, services, that's how you earn your money. And if you're buying stuff outside of your means and you're buying stuff on credit, you're not, technically you're not giving enough to earn those things. And if we can turn off that instant gratification button and kind of learn to delay that gratification for a season, then I think you'll find that do a lot better.
So I'm like you read those books and they say, the dummy of this. Well, I'm the dummy of financial wealth. So for someone,
but that's not your fault either. That's
exactly.
That's the system that we're raised into. We talked about this before. Was they don't teach financial education in school. You might learn how to maybe balance a checkbook. But I graduated high school and I knew how the mitochondriatic photosynthesis of a cell worked, or the nucleus of a cell. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but I learned that. But I had no idea what compound interest was, how to do my taxes, and how to form a corporation or form a business, or I knew none of these things.
Yes.
But yet I had a bunch of information that I really didn't need.
Yeah.
Because that's not what I wasn't going to be a botanist. I wasn't going to go into science or whatever, what have you.
Or pottery.
Yeah, so I just think it's a complete system that's designed to raise up good employees.
Yes.
Make you smart enough to work for somebody else. Yeah. And usually the people working for somebody else are a lot smarter than that person. It's proven that statistically speaking, A students typically end up working for C students. And that's a proven statistic. And I sum it into, well, the C student always saw outside, not always, some of us were just lazy, but think a little bit different. Like you kind of see outside the box.
Yes.
And anything anybody wants to do great in life or innovative or new has to go against what's already been done. Yeah. Because the person that's so by the rules, by the books, they're not going outside those lines. Yeah. They follow the rules very well. Yeah. And thank God, because you need people like that. But then there's those other people that are outliers, and they kind of get on the outside of that box and kind of use it for good. Some of us took till we were in our 30s to figure that out, but
I ain't lying. I used to be a little envious of the A students. I used to be like, how are they doing it? Yeah. I studied the same book and I still can't get it. But it's a different mindset. But yes, as I said, we were conditioned. We were conditioned to think a certain way because we never, I hear somebody said once, you got to respect money. You got to learn about money. Money is a language. Money has its own system. Yeah. Money, and before I was like, what? You just need to make money. You just need to have money in the bank.
That's not how much you make. If you're broke up here, you're still going to be broke.
Yes.
I mean, that's a fact. Because I know I get it all the time. Oh, if I could just make another 10%. Yeah. That's how we hear it. If I could just make another $1. If I could make, if I could get this raise, I'll be fine. No, you won't. You won't. Because you'll just be back in the same boat with a bigger bill. Somebody said to me, I think, someone said, hey, is $60,000 a lot of money to make a year? Yeah, until you make it, though. And I promise, until you make it. The minute you start making it, it's not enough.
You want more.
Not unless you truly learned how to live below your means and delay that gratification and, master your mind. It's really it's all here. Everything's mental. Yeah.
So you really need the education. You really need the knowledge.
Get beyond the money, the psychology of how we think and why we want certain things. I mean, ooh, shiny object, I want that. Do you need it? No, I don't need it, but I want it because, it's going to make me look successful. Mm-hmm. It's going to make me look the part. We're in a generation that is obsessed with the appearance of wealth, but have no desire to do what it takes to earn it.
Yes. Yes, that's so true. And I love when you say yes, to look the part, you know, and not actually, because I love when you touched on when you said money is a tool.
Yes.
And I think if we don't see it as a tool,
well, we demonize it. We demonize it.
Some people demonize it.
Well,
not
I mean,
everyone.
I could probably go out and ask 100 people what the root of all evil is, and they'll say money. And I mean, 95% of the people will say money, and it makes me sad, because I say to myself, why? Why is money the root of all evil? How about the lack thereof is the root of all evil? Because I don't know about you, but being in poverty, that's the root of all evil. Having no money to pay your bills, that's the root of all evil. Having no money to go help people when they need your help, that's the root of all evil. Money is yet but a tool. Yeah. That's all it is a tool. And when we look at it as such, and you understand that, we look at it like it's God, because it has God-like qualities, right? Pleasure. It brings a lot of fun, a lot of pleasure, a lot of power.
Yes.
And it has these qualities that make you feel like you're above the rest.
Yes.
God-like qualities. But once you understand that it's not God, it's just a tool.
Yes. Yes.
Right? And you master that tool, and you use that tool to do the work that you're called to do. You find your purpose in life. You find a passion, which is for you. You find something you love to do. You earn, you learn, you love doing it. You make money from it. You turn those profits into your purpose.
Yes.
And that's usually serving other people, which is what you're doing now. And,
yes.
You know.
I remember one time we were having a conversation on the back porch, and you said and he was talking to me, and he said, you know, we act like God, we act like money is the tool, is God, and God is the tool. Because we pray to God and say, God, give me this, give me that. So you're using him like a genie, like he's the tool to go get you this. But he created money as a tool for us to use to go do our purpose, to go live, to go, you know, take care of our family. And until we see it like that, because we give it the power in our head.
Yeah. Money is but a mindset. What is money? Well, money has no value. It's not backed by anything. It doesn't need to be backed by anything. I love that one. Money is going to crash. The market's going to crash because it's not backed by anything. Money hasn't been backed by anything since the 70s, when they took it off in 1973, I believe Nixon took it off. But it's based off of a barter system. It's a debt note. All it says is, I did this amount of good services, or gave somebody this amount of goods, so I'm owed this amount of debt, so that you can go pass it to somebody else, right? It's a fiat currency. So it's very, very, very efficient, the marketplace. There is no crash coming. If you understand how it works, and maybe you'll be a little bit more confident in learning how to invest and stuff like that. Because if you watch the news, you know, we're all going to die tomorrow, and everything, the whole world's coming to an end. But that's not the case. It's just a barter system. You know, you've got to give more to get more. And if you want to excel to the next level, learn to give more. And somehow or another. Yes.
But when you say give more, sometimes it's not money. It could be giving up your time.
I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about give more. Like, look. So Bill Gates, you know, when he says we're going to give back to society, I said that's crazy, because Bill Gates, he was the wealthiest man in the world, but he's already given society enough, don't you think?
We're using it right now.
We're using it. Everybody's using it. Society's using it.
Yes.
So for him to feel like he has to say, "Oh, we're giving back," it's kind of gut wrenching, because there's a man that's changed the world as we know it. Yes. But because people in that level,
they're looking at the
demonized,
money.
And they look like, "Oh, he's just a wealthy person. He doesn't deserve it." Well, I'm pretty sure he gave enough for him to never have to worry about anything again. It's that, like, you know, when I say give, I'm not talking about giving money to someone. I'm talking about figure out a way to earn more money, and somehow or another giving a good product or a good service or something you can benefit another person's life. If you can solve a problem, you will find out a way to make money.
Yes, yes. And I think that's, you know, I always hear TD Jakes say, you know, be a problem solver.
That's it.
If you can solve a problem, look at Uber.
That's the whole
you
thing.
can
Well,
solve
that's
a problem.
true, but Uber didn't even have a problem. They created a whole market. Ultimately, there wasn't really no problem for getting a ride. They changed the game. Same thing with coffee. Look at the Keurig. There really wasn't a problem there.
Yeah,
if they figured out a way to say, hey, this thing that's been working for however many years, we're going to make it better.
Yes.
And they did. So you don't even have to necessarily solve a big problem. You can make a problem that's been solved a little bit better.
Yes. Tesla. I heard my sister, because she just graduated from college, and she just graduated with a business degree, and she wants to do transportation, which is business. And she was like, Stephanie, look at Tesla. Not what's his name? Elon Musk. He didn't invent a car. He just took a car and built on it.
But the thing is and that's she's right. But Elon must solve the big problem, and that's our environment, our energy. Because if we keep going at the way we're going, we're not going to have a planet. And I believe we've already passed that limit. Like that's why we're trying to get onto Mars right now. Because as a species, we have burnt our Earth up, and ultimately, until we become a multi-planet, species, we probably won't survive too much longer as a.
Do you know that they already have a site up for people to book?
I do.
Flight.
Well, that's Richard Branson with Virgin Galactic. He's offering space travel.
Are you going?
No. I would maybe go to Mars, but I'm not going to just go orbit around.
Yeah, it's just to orbit, just to go see, look. But I mean, that's probably the next
you could feel no gravity or something. But
probably the next 20 years
the
for me
risk
when a
to
couple people
reward ratio on that's a little much for the outcome, for the risk you're taking, for maybe a little bit of no gravity. That's a little not the right risk to reward ratio for me.
I'll keep meditation for right now. Go up in the stars. So, for someone who's watching right now and say, hey, what you guys are talking about is for rich people. I have nothing to pass down to my children, and that's not for me. That conversation is for all the people. What would you say to them?
Well, I mean, we all got to start somewhere. I mean, if you don't start, you definitely won't make it, right? I mean, that's a sure way to fail, is to not even try. Mm-hmm. Or you can say, okay, let me give this a shot. It's not even about a number. I don't believe rich or wealth is about having a bunch of money in the bank, because with his money, it could be obsolete before you know it, and in our currency could mean nothing. So really, it's not that. It's about freedom, right?
Yes.
And figuring out a way to buy your time. So the idea would be to find a way you can make your money work for you. And if you've got to start out with a little side job. What did we say earlier was
if you work, say 500 for the week.
It was Jim Rohn said he had a system. I thought it was Ray Dalio's. Jim Rohn, the 70-10-10-10 rule, and you get paid, and 70% of your paycheck's going to be bills and what have you. Then you take 10% for a long-term investment, which is your safe type of bonds, stuff like that. You just leave it there for good. Then you take 10% to charity. I mean, it's very important to give, regardless how you do it. It doesn't have to be money, but a lot of us, we work a lot and we don't have the time to go do charitable things. So it's a good thing to give. Find an organization that you believe in, and then 10% to, I believe, like a higher risk strategy, something that's gonna to high returns.
Okay.
With a bigger risk to it, but also can maybe work on something. If you're gonna put it into options or something where the return is high, but you can afford to lose a few times before you actually make a good profit on it. Or it takes time to compound, But yeah, so 10% to high risk, high return, 10% to charity, 10% to a safe long-term investment for your retirement.
And 70%.
And 70% to your bills. And if you want to get real, tweak those numbers a little bit. Say, hey, I only need 50% to pay my bills. I'm going to skip the club this week and put another 10% into that.
Okay. But there is some new things out there that are trending right now, like Robinhood,
yep.
Little stuff, I
mean, there's no reason not to. There's zero reason not to. When you can go on Robinhood, which has changed the game for every retail investor. I wish Robinhood was the thing when I first started this. Like, if you only knew what we went through before, different brokerages and stuff and the commissions. But Robinhood has made it commission free. Mm-hmm. You don't have to buy a whole share. You can buy $5 of a share, $1 of a share if you want.
$5.
There's no excuse.
I see Beatrice on here. Yes, Beatrice, I know you're still
you have a
trading.
You have I forgot my train of thought now. Thanks,
Sorry.
Beatrice. It comes with debit card. You can get a debit card. So I know that's a big thing for people. Well, how am I going to get my money when I need it? I mean, that's the biggest fear. Like, you got to let go of that. But I know in the beginning wait, well, what if I need my money? No excuse. Robinhood sends you a debit card, and it's as good as any other debit card. So you can get your profits and your, and you can buy crypto on there. And a lot of people that are getting onto that bandwagon, and it's not a bandwagon; it's a real thing. It's definitely
talk a little bit about cryptocurrency, because a lot of people don't understand it.
It's definitely the future. It's definitely the future for the way we do money. it's like switching from the gold standard to the cash. It's going to be a big transition. There's going to be a lot of glitches and a lot of things happening, but eventually we will be all a digital currency. We're already there. I mean, we just don't use the blockchain technology, which is what's happening right now. But we're already there. When you send money through your apps and all that, that's all digital. That's the same thing. It's
Cash
just
out
not
and all that.
regulated through the government, which is why it's having such a hard time. If the government wasn't so concerned about getting theirs, this would already been done. So that's my fear. I mean, back in the 70s, they made gold illegal because the government couldn't regulate that. And I mean, that scares me when it comes to crypto, because I'm like, well, hey, if they did that to gold, what are they going to do to crypto? Doesn't mean I think Bitcoin's not taking off. I just think it's going to be more of a government regulated type of thing. And any way you can get in at this level is a positive, regardless. But Bitcoin's at 46,000 today. I mean, to me, how many times do you think it's going to double? So, I mean, to me, I'm like more looking at the other ones. Ethereum, XRP is another good one. They have an instant settlement. That's what makes them popular. But I'm not the biggest. I trade. I like to trade. I'm not into crypto so much, but I definitely have an allocation for that, and keep my eye on it.
Yeah, and for some of the viewers who are watching may not know what we're talking about, because before I didn't know this. This was like Spanish and Japanese to me, but I've gained a little bit a knowledge about it. Based, he has shared with me. But for people like me or you who are starting, as I said, like Robinhood and little apps like that you could trade on. Tasty Trade too?
No, I wouldn't. They're not for a beginner. Very far from a beginner. They're an all. I mean,
what's the other one that was like W?
Well, Webull. Webull's a good beginner.
Webull is good. Yeah.
I would just Robinhood is definitely by far the most user friendly.
Yeah.
I don't use it personally. It doesn't suit my needs. I trade major indexes, futures, commodities, and options, and it's definitely way out of Robinhood's forte.
Yes.
But for what anybody on an average level is trying to do, is Robinhood is by far, hands down, the best.
Okay, and basic, and just to break it down to basic level, when you say you download a Robinhood app on your phone, and you go in and you say, okay, let me put $10 on there. I want to buy a stock. So when you say you're buying stock, say a stock for Walmart or for Amazon or different companies,
Tesla or anything like that.
Tesla, their stocks could be thousands of dollars, but you could buy a sliver,
$5,
a $5 worth of it, and as that stock go up, the percentage.
You're still making the same percentage-wise as the stock is making, right? Because you're getting the same gains as that stock. So, I mean, if you put $100 into, say, let's just say, Tesla, right? Tesla's at $685 today, and you put $100 into Tesla. If Tesla goes up 100 and some change, that comes out to like $5-6, something like that. That will be your profit. So hey, scratch that. 5%. I'm sorry, saying 20% of the $5. So it goes up $1. So hey, if you got $5 in Tesla and you make $1 on it. That's pretty good, right? I mean, that's 20% return. So
yes, and say that's just money. So you didn't put that in the bank. So you put it in the bank, you're making
You're making it 0.03.
Point
You're making
zero,
0.03. So that's,
in the
if
bank.
you put $5 in the bank, you're going to end up paying the bank. I promise.
For that one day. But if you put it in the stock market,
you put it in the stock market, and
you may make $1, $2, and you leave it there, and
if you look to make 8% on an average, and let me put this into Albert Einstein said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. So let's say this: you buy a home for $200,000, right?
Yes.
And that note for 30 years is $1,200 a month, and you pay that note for 30 years. You're going to end up paying $632,000 for your house. Everybody does it. We all do it. That's what we pay. But we never think of the numbers. We never think of the interest and compound interest because they don't teach you that in school. Take that same $1,200 today, right? Put it in a Roth IRA. Or SEP IRA where you can put in more per year, and you put $1,200 a month for the next 30 years. You're now using compound interest in your favor, and you'll have a total of $6 million. No, I'm sorry, $4.4 million. That's the power of compound interest working for you. So you can pay a house and pay $600,000 for a $200,000 house, or you can delay the gratification on a big scale and cash in on $4 million. Now most of us can't do that. We want to buy a home, right? I need a home to live in. I mean, But that's just a small example of how important it is to understand how money works and to stop waiting and to stop thinking you have time.
And that's the system the bank used, by the way. When you put your money in the bank,
for every $10 you put in the bank, they can loan out $100. Now,
Yes.
if they can loan out $100 for every $10, and they can charge 5-10% on every $100 that you've only had to put in 10. Now you keep compounding that. Think of the amount of money that they're making off of
your
compound
money.
interest. Be the lender, not the borrower. I mean, it says it's all through time. That's the key, right?
Biblical, yes. But I think one of the major, well, I'm speaking from my experience, thing is taking risk.
Yeah.
Because it can, even though we're saying put
it
$5
can go
or
against you.
$10,
You
it
could
can go against you. The stock could drop. It could go the other way.
Yeah, you could lose. Hey, a lot can happen, right? We have no problem going to the club, spending money, drinking, spending money, buying a new car, doing this or that. Why? Because it makes us feel good instantly. That's why you can't get there, right? I want it right now. We all want it right now.
Oh yeah.
Shoot, I want it yesterday. But it's everything's a risk. But I think the biggest risk anybody can take is not learning to invest now, because one day your 70-year-old self is going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I can't work no more. I'm old. I don't feel good. And you're going to say, well, I was just being safe, but I saved this $20,000.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you going to do with $20,000? Maybe it was worth something 40 years ago because, shoot, back in the 70s, you could have bought a house for that $20,000. Think about that for a second.
True.
You could have bought a house in the 70s for $20-something thousand. What can you do today with $20,000? Buy a car? Maybe. So that tells you how unadvantageous it is for you to keep money under your mattress or in the bank. That just proves to you right there that you're losing money every minute you're not making it work for you.
Yes. Wow. And trading, talk about trading hours for dollars.
Yeah.
But this is not for everybody though.
It should be.
Because some people are comfortable with.
Well, then they should watch something else, but it should be for everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody's being told anything that's not good for them right now. And no, investing is not for, trading is not for everybody. Trading, like stock trading, that's different. What we're talking about is long-term wealth building, long-term investments, and learning how to not trade dollars for hours eventually. If you're trading dollars for hours, it's only 24 hours in a day. You got to sleep some hours, and you want to, spend time with your family some hours. How much can you really make that way?
Yes.
Not much.
And that's why it's about buying your time.
Yeah, buying your freedom.
Buying your freedom. I remember when he used to say to me years ago, he was like, I just want to buy my freedom. I just want to buy my freedom.
This much time for that much time.
And I was like, what are you talking about? We just need to go to work. No, I just need to buy. And I was like, I couldn't grasp the concept. Because for me, it's just go to work, make the money, save what you can, spend what you can, save what you can, but never making my money make money for me.
Well, because we're so convinced that everything the government has our bet, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I'm all for our government. What I'm saying is Social Security probably will not be here by the time we hit it, right? Realistically speaking, it's already.
Well, I'm a little young still. I have a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, definitely not for me. And it look at my grandfather, who was a firefighter for 32 years, and this man is probably the best guy I know, God bless him. And he's worked very hard. And look, he's in a situation right now where he's really kind of screwed, and my grandmother, his wife, is now, thank God they made some conscious decisions back when they were our age that set them to be able to be okay. But even still, they're not as comfortable as they should be for the amount of work and the amount of good decision making they made, because they were depending on the fact that, hey, we did our part. The government's going to make sure they do their part, right? My grandfather worked for the government, at least, but they're not. No, they won't. And nobody's guaranteed anything. So that's kind of the biggest risk, is depending on something else to support you later on.
But what about the people who are not even depending on the government? They work, Social Security is coming out of their paycheck or not, and they're just living. They're not preparing at all.
Well, that's what we're talking about right now, right? As we're saying, we kind of maybe want to start preparing a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, start small, look into some things, ask questions. You know, like I said, email me, jeff@hjsh.org, if you have any questions. If I can't, I'm by no means an expert. If I have questions I can answer, I'll answer them, and if not, I'll send you to the right person. I have a lot of good relationships, that people that really know what they're doing in a lot of different areas.
And his website is hjsh.org. You can go on there. There's a lot of information about, investments, starting small, little stuff that you can do by yourself personally, so you don't have to go to a third party. We're not trying to sell you nothing. We're not trying to get nothing from nobody. We're just trying to give you information. Yeah. If I got this information, I feel like I can't keep it inside. Yeah. I need to tell people about it, because this is about build, grow, and shine. And this is what I am using, my life experience and what has helped pull me out of my dark places into some light to help people. This is how I'm giving back. This is how I want to give more and giving knowledge and giving, information. So this is what it's all about. So what about real estate?
Real estate, it's a great market. It's always a great market. It's real estate, I think, is the end game for anybody who's looking to really build wealth.
Yes.
It's tangible. It's an asset that you can hold. I'm personally looking I want to rent out properties. I think that, that's how you build a better passive income, opposed to flipping houses.
Yeah.
But that's a thing too. And my thing is never think it's about the money.
Yes.
That's the biggest hindrance as a business owner, that I don't have the money to do. Grinded out, saved, and was able to open a successful barbershop. But if you think back at all the businesses that we've ventured into and done, money was probably the least of the situation. You can always get money. Mm-hmm. If you try, you can get money. There is always ways to get money if you have a solid strategy, system, or product that you have, right? I heard somebody say, well, I don't have the money for this. Well, I have a friend that I know for a fact that does hard money loans. If you have a property you want to flip, he doesn't go through no banks or nothing. If you have a great idea, he loans you the money until you flip it, and then you pay him back. It's your idea. It's out there.
Yeah.
So
it's relationship and
relationship.
connection.
We know that relationships is the most important thing you can have.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond money, relationships. I can't stress it enough. People will burn a bridge for $100.
Oh my God! Talk about it.
And I was saying to myself, wow. But that was me one day. That was me one day, and I really thought that was more important. But today, I say this. I wouldn't burn a bridge or a good relationship for $1 million. I wouldn't do it, and I put that on everything I love. I just would not do it.
Because we know the value.
I know the value of it. If the Chinese come and they decide to take over our economy one day, and our U.S. dollar is completely worthless, what's going to save you?
Your friends.
Who you can pick up and call and say, hey, I'm in a tight situation.
Your family.
That's it. That's all that matters. But, people think that the money's the most important thing. They're looking for happiness in their money. They're looking for freedom in their money. That's not it, because, that's pleasure. That's what we just talked about. Those are the different qualities that it brings, but those are all temporary.
Mass media marketing.
Yeah. So,
leading us astray.
Yeah, don't believe the lie.
Don't believe the lie.
You talk to anybody who's successful, or even if you listen to music, you can hear it in the music.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I've never been more alone than when I had money. I've never been more distraught. I've never been there. And look at these musicians, they kill themselves, and these people, and they drown themselves out with drugs and stuff. Why? Well, they have all the money. Why? That's ignorant. You're ignorant. You are ignorant. If that's what you are saying, well, they shouldn't have killed themselves. They're rich. Well, the rich has nothing to do with it. Zero about it. Just be as happy as you choose to be today with $1 million in your hand,
and also finding purpose.
Of course, purpose.
Finding purpose. Last week I shared that the University of California did a research, and ages of people 51 to 61, and when in the research they found that people who did not have a purpose died of cardiovascular disease at that age, and people who had a purpose live longer. And I was like, wow, you have something to live for. And even as wife and husband, I see that, okay, he has his job, I'm into my stuff, but I have to be in my purpose. I'm attached to you by my relationship, one time it's family time, but then there's something that I love and I want to give myself to, and something to wake me up in the morning, and a drive, and I no longer look at the money money to get there. I just want to come up with a plan.
Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey. And one of the hardest thing I want to say is for anything is to start.
Just start. And detach from the outcome. Whatever it is you're doing, detach from the outcome. Yes, you have a destination. You have a goal of where you want to be, but detach yourself from there and enjoy the journey. If is your state attached to that outcome, like this is been my biggest downfall throughout my journey, is always seeing the outcome so clearly that I'm depressed if I'm not here.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to detach from there and
still
enjoy
learning
here.
that.
You know, you gotta enjoy here because that has its time over there.
Yeah.
And you have, I want to be here, so I got to do this, that, and the other. And you're missing out on all of now.
Yes.
Because, well, I'm not here. Well,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to be there because when you're there, guess what? There's another there.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to be happy here either. So you got to figure out how to just enjoy the journey and say, you know, every day is another day, and take it easy on yourself. You're not going to become a millionaire overnight unless you hit a lottery ticket. You know, like, enjoy the journey.
And if you do win a lottery ticket, my Cash App is, my name is, you know,
But
just hit me
if you
up.
set little goals, right? And every day, and this is working for me with trading, is instead of having a number or a goal, that did I stick to my strategy? Right?
Yeah.
So if you have a strategy that you want every day, you have little goals in place. And when you go to bed at night, did you at least do those little things that you're supposed to do daily, even if you didn't get, you know, where you wanted to be, but you didn't hit those goals, or
So
you
principles.
did know when to walk away from a situation, and you did know when not to walk away from a situation, and you told yourself, this is what I do, this is what I don't do, and you meet those every day.
Wow.
There's going to be a point where enough of these little goals, and some loses, some winners, but eventually they're going to weigh out.
Yes.
You know.
I remember one time you told me, but you were pertaining this to trading, and you said, you know, one big one,
Yeah.
and then you may have three small.
Well, trading, people think about, put a trade on, they got lucky every time. No, I promise you, a good trader does a bunch of little losses, loss, a big win.
Big win.
And that's it. There's more losses than wins, far more losses than
Yeah.
wins. But it's knowing when to set your stop loss, knowing when to pull back, get
Yes.
out, or walk away.
Yes.
Stick to your strategy. You know, when you don't stick to your strategy, and it can work in life too. For me, what was always bad is when I married myself to a trade, or I can't be wrong. It's gonna turn around.
Yeah.
So I move my stop loss, and you can do that in life. This is things we do in life. We start to negotiate our value system.
Oh my God.
I can bend on this because it's gonna turn
It's
around.
gonna turn
and it's
around.
gonna change. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give a little bit on what I believe in right here.
Oh my God.
And eventually, next thing you know, you're flat. You done completely sold out on everything you stand for,
Oh,
believe
your
in,
value.
and you
Oh
are
my
out.
God.
So it's the same thing. But if you go to bed and you might be discouraged because you didn't win the big trade, but you got out before you gave in on your value system.
Wow.
So,
You know, he's sharing
so you go to
this
bed
right
proud.
now.
You go to bed proud, yeah.
But you're talking about trading. It's like us. We're
It's
trading.
life. Well, I'm talking about life, but
We're
I'm
trading.
correlating it, and that's what I tell you.
Correlating, yeah.
I'm not just saying it because I'm a trader, but I do believe that in the stock market,
We
all
are.
of our life.
It's all of our lives. Yes.
And it sounds cliche when somebody who this is what I do for a living, so it's like, oh yeah, he just all he does. But no, if you sit there like I do every day and watch the charts and understand what's happening,
You're trading emotions.
you are, and that's all it is. It's mass emotions. So it's people on that screen, and I'm watching people's emotions all day, and that's how I look at it. You know, and I could see when people get discouraged.
Oh my God, I got a lot of searching to do. That's a lot of things to think about.
Oh, I think it's still on. I'm sorry. It's
Okay.
a phone.
So yeah, I got a lot of stuff to think about tonight. You know that's a little deep right there. So I'm not gonna go any further. I'm just gonna leave it right there.
Yep.
And I got to think about that for a minute, because really and truly, I feel like we are trading our time daily.
Yeah.
When you go to work, you're trading your time for hours. When you spend it with your family, you're trading that couple hours with your family. It's trading. We're trading. But when you say you give up your values and your principles for just a little, we
And
do
that's
it.
what
I
we
do it.
That's what we do. And I mean, it's
I
kind of
do
a
it.
cool little. I've always.
All right, so I think our live, I don't know if we're still on, but priceless information. Yes, Mrs. Harrington. Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for coming in. So I hope you guys learned something from this tonight. If you have any question, feel free to text me, drop me a DM, email me, stephanie.harrington@yahoo.com, and, message me, on Facebook and whatever. And we're always here to answer your questions. We're always here to help with what we know.
What I know,
With
what
what I
you know,
know.
that's it.
Yes.
Feel free to reach out if you have any questions regarding anything that I might be able to help or help understand.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And don't forget, his website is hjsh.org.
And the email is jeff@hjsh.org.
Yes, Jeff
Please
at-
don't ever feel too prideful to ask a question.
Yes.
Like I people don't want to feel like they're being stupid or dumb, but how are you ever gonna learn if you don't ask, right? I mean, we all had to do it. I suck my pride up and I randomly call people that I don't even know or email, hey, I'm not, and yeah, that's kind of awkward, but trust me, I've done it. So if you have any questions regarding anything, don't ever feel embarrassed. Like, you're not supposed to know everything, right? Like, you're not born knowing anything. You gotta learn it. So,
but it's the ego,
It's
know.
the ego,
Think
pride.
Pride. Yes, that's what it is. And by the way, Pride was on here too.
I saw that. Hi, Pride.
Anyways, have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Another episode of The Yellow Couch. So, as I said, I'm turning this into a series so I could give each topic more depth and more defining meaning of what wealth building is. So, bye guys. See you next week.
Brianna.
Bye, Bree Bree.